Hi, my name is Brendan McGinty, and this is my story about surviving sepsis. If you start in when I was born, my dad gave me a bicuspid heart valve inherited from him. Thanks, Dad. And I knew about it about the time I was 18 years old. So fast forward to my mid 40s. I go in for a sports injury surgery, and during pre-op, they noticed that my bicuspid valve, aortic valve, was leaking a little bit more than it should. And because I was in pain, I strong-armed them into going ahead with the surgery to fix the injury. But I knew that I had to schedule for open heart surgery to fix the bicuspid valve at that point. So go a couple more months in advance, and now we're in August of 2009. I go in for the surgery. I go in pretty decent shape. 3 days in and out. I'm ready to go, feeling good, with one very minor thought, concern maybe, and that is just upon discharge from the hospital for that surgery, I was feeling good. I got a little bit of a chill. Didn't think much of it. Went home 3 hours away, back to Central Illinois, to rehab, to get back to work, to get back to working out. Was feeling pretty good, except I would get these chills. What I noticed was a post-operative incision was infected. So I went in to get it checked out at our local hospital, and it just wasn't treated for what I ended up having, which was a staph infection. Okay. Next thing I know is things become a little blurry during this time, right? So we're in the middle of 2009, heading toward fall. Rehabbing, feeling good and getting strength back, but then I started to shut down, hallucinating, high fever, went into the hospital, and they finally diagnosed staph. And so I was carrying a PICC line full of fluids, all of this. Still doing okay. But then it just wasn't getting better. And they also recognized that that staph infection had hit my new bovine valve. Now go to November of 2009, that same year. I was really shutting down. Went down, back down to the hospital that did the original surgery, and was treated for the infection mainly first. They wanted to get on top of the infection, then send me home and recover. I said, Doc, you're going to have to replace the valve anyway. I'm down here. Why don't we do it? So kept me down, planned for a few extra days to get on top of the infection, then do the surgery again. Didn't last that long. Started to really shut down. Heart failure from the infection, went in for emergency, second heart surgery. The same surgeon the first time cut a nice line along my, what is now a pretty significant scar, right down the middle, to do a second surgery and put in a new bovine valve because of staph. So after that, I had my left vocal cord was damaged. I couldn't swallow. Lost 70 pounds, was in ICU for quite a while afterwards. Did recover slowly, lost all that weight. Took 6 months, maybe more, to recover. Now fast forward 2.5 more years. I got the chills again one morning. I'm like, I think I know what that is. Called my wife, new wife at that point. She said, go to the ER, don't screw around. Thank goodness, because we had to go back to the local hospital, fight for the ability to go down to the hospital where I was treated the first time for their expertise. Luckily, that staph again did not hit my heart valve. And so I did fully recover, but I've always had a leak since then. Now, 2020, toward the end of the year, my wife and I were driving home from visiting our daughter and granddaughter, and listening to the doctor radio and hearing Dr. Steve Simpson talk about sepsis. We're hearing some familiar things. Now, keep in mind, this happened a long time ago for me. Well, my wife says, I think that's what you had, sepsis. we looked into it, and sure enough, I mean, both times, in 2009 and again in 2012, I went septic. What I heard was it was staph infection, right? And both times there was a certain amount of fighting that had to happen to bring up sepsis as a possible, or staph as a possibility, and for them to treat before I went to the point of no return with sepsis. And so upon that drive home, I reached out just with an email to the Sepsis Alliance. And sure enough, the CEO, Tom Heyman, got a hold of me and said, we'd like to talk. And when we talked, my work involved at the university here at Illinois, my work in healthcare, in technology. I was invited to the board. What an honor! What an honor! What a passion play to be a two-time survivor, not even know that I had it. So for me, awareness. I'm the example of where awareness makes a difference here. And that's just number one. Then the treatment, the recognition of it by the providers. I was personally impacted by this. Now we can make a difference. So that's the story, long and short. I appreciate the fact that people are taking the time to look at this, raise their own and perhaps others' awareness, because it could save lives. Thank you very much.